Hello, I'm Daniel, and today we're going to be talking about nutrient movement and the role that animals play in moving nutrients from one place to another. To start off, let's talk about how nutrients cycle within organisms. All right, first, you have your primary producers, and what they do is they take nutrients from the environment and they absorb them into their own bodies. And these primary producers are going to be organisms like plants or your algae that just make their own energy and take their own nutrients from the environment and just put them into their own bodies. Next, we have your primary consumers, and these are going to be animals like herbivores, your deer, your rabbits, and they're going to eat these producers, and then they're going to take some of their nutrients and build them into their own bodies. Now, they won't take all the nutrients, and we'll go over what happens to those in just a minute. And next, we have our secondary consumers, and these are going to be animals that are eating the primary consumers. So you got your lions, your lizards, your sharks, and they're just eating these other animals, and they're taking some of the nutrients that they got from the producers and building it into their own bodies. And then finally, when everything dies, it all goes back to the decomposers. That's your producers and all your consumers. They all die and go to the decomposers. And what the decomposers do is they break down the bodies of these organisms and they bring them back to the environment, and so that they can be used again by the producers. Now, but what happens to all the nutrients that don't get sequestered into an organism's body? Like when the deer eats the grass, not all of it becomes part of the deer. Well, it comes out when the organism poops and when it pees. Um, Now, this is actually a very important process because when the organism poops and pees, it's taking the nutrients from an area where it wouldn't normally be, and it's moving it around, and it's putting it somewhere else. And there's some very good examples of this, like hippos. They eat on the land, but then they poop in the water. Seabirds, they can move nutrients from island to island. And whales, they can take nutrients that from nutrient-rich water at the bottom and bring it up to nutrient-poor water at the top. And we call these food web subsidies because the the food web is being subsidized from another place by something not natural, and all these have a lot more nutrients than they would naturally. And I hope this just gave you a small taste of how amazing our natural world is and how this everything works together in order to form a cohesive system.